Right. Well, hi everybody. We're back here talking. Our
Hello,
special
hello.
guest, Native Voice, the one and only.
Oh my gosh. I'm having camera issues, so if I freeze up, I'll do my best.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see who we got in here before we get started. And I will say this Sunday chat's going to be a little bit different than my normal Sunday chats, but this is a topic and a subject that is front and center. Everybody knows kind of what's going on that I feel like I want to address and talk about, and so we're going to get into it. So it's a little bit different, but I think it's important. So let's see. We got Michael G. How are you? DC's Bees. TT1's in the house. Southern Florida DCO. How are you? Sandy S. Deb Woods. Random. Hey, girl. I always love seeing you. Miss Sharon. Miss Sharon's listen to what she says. She knows what's up. She's the boss in here, and
Unless you
she'll
want
tell
to
you what
flip
to
flop.
do. She'll tell you what to do. Yes, she will. She'll get you. You better help I do before she does. Oh, Huckleberry's ahead. Dusty Country Road, how are you? If I missed you, I'm sorry. Montana Nana, all of you. Hi, hi, hi. Colleen, good to see you. Constitutional Carpenter. And if I miss anything, like Miss Sharon said, put things in all caps, put like, native or KC really big so we see it, because we'll get over here and get squirrel, or I'll just miss it. I apologize. Hey, TJ in Georgia. If I Thistle Moon, how are you? Saint Hunter, all of you. I see y'all coming here. I appreciate you guys tremendously. Well, we've been seeing all the stuff about Israel and what's going on. So I want to talk about that. I think the last I heard, I think the death toll was over 700,000. What was it? 2,500 or more injured or missing. You know,
Hmm.
I do want to go ahead and put out this. This is not about land. This is about elimination, in my opinion. I will say that.
Agreed.
Um, so as stressful and heartbreaking as all of this is, I think we going into it because we have a range of emotions. I do. This is absolutely heartbreaking to me. Um, we have to remind ourselves to remember God's still in control, and even this wasn't a surprise to Him. You've been keeping up with all this along the way, Native.
I have Twitter is, oh my gosh, the videos that people are putting on Twitter from there are,
Oh yeah, horrific.
yeah, I can't believe
Even
they're
allowing it.
allowed to post some of these videos, but you know,
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad. You know, I just this is a strong feeling I have about this. I'm sure most everyone else does about it is the way that Hamas attacked. Did you see the videos? They were like, paragliding in. They were coming in through the land. They were coming in from the water. They were they're just everywhere.
yep.
As strong, as strong and intelligent as Israel is, there is no way, there is no way, and how they surprise attack. There is no way that they acted alone on this.
Hmm.
There's just
The
not.
Iron Dome. I mean, the Iron Dome. They said it didn't function the way it usually does, and there was way more rockets that got through than should have. They said it was a complete failure of their defensive capabilities.
Right. Did you see? I saw it a couple hours ago that they were. This is the pair when they had come out said over in Israel. They had said that when about the time the paragliders and stuff had come in, they had found equipment that had jammed their radars and their surveillance and electronics. So here's my little. This is my rabbit hole. So get your snacks about that. Doesn't the bear? Don't they have the equipment and ability to block those things?
Hmm.
So that's
You
where I
know,
went.
they also said they found evidence that a lot of the weapons they're using are from Afghanistan. There
Afghanistan,
are weapons.
of course.
And the Taliban was asking neighboring countries to Israel, can we come through your country? We want to go to Israel and fight. And then Hezbollah in Lebanon, they started shelling last
Yep.
night. So, I
And
mean,
And what was, and I don't know the complete details on this because I cannot remember. What is the Iranian prime minister and the bear? They made a deal not long ago. What was that? So, do you see my connection?
Mhm.
This full circle, this rabbit hole, the spider web where it all connects. So we have that. You know, the bear. They had that prime minister. They had made that deal. How long ago was it that the U.S. sent $6 billion to Iran?
Yep. Recently.
Yeah, recently. Um, so that connection, and then we have, you know, have you seen the videos? The Iranian parliament, those videos are chanting, you know, death to Israel, death to America. They're chanting
Yep.
that, chanting. They're celebrating. You know, Iran. They declared this morning. I saw it came out. They declared victory over the slaughter of what they've done so far.
Hmm.
So this wasn't a act alone that Hamas they just outsmarted and outpowered and got in there like they did. There's something else. There's a lot more else, I believe. I mean, that's just where I am with it, and I think that also makes it come full circle back to here, and in the U.S. is the amount of sleepers we have, and how the border's been wide open. People, if you think something like that cannot happen here, your head's in the sand. I just
agree.
feel
Yeah.
it could. I am trying to make sure I don't miss anything in chat. Hey, everybody's coming in. Leslie, I see all you. Adriana, how are you? If I've missed you, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what we were. Did you see that TT1? I was listening to that this morning that I'm saying they said that it was jammed, but they didn't say who, but as far as I know, they have the capability. And the reason I bring that up, and I'm going to go in the biblical sense. I mean, Native, what do you think? Is this Ezekiel 38? Is this the war? Because in that it says it's going to, you know, be led and orchestrated, and in the background is going to be the bear with that, right? Now, if they are part of this and doing this, what we're talking about now, that fits.
That's what I was looking for. It's the people they mentioned: Persia, which is Iran,
right?
Ethiopia, which is Saudi Arabia. It's not the Ethiopia of Africa. When it talks about it in Ezekiel, they're actually talking about Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Talks about Libya, Gomer, and Togmara, which are ancient words for like the Eurasian continents and Russia and stuff like that. And the most striking part of that prophecy in Ezekiel 38 is it talks about how Israel is surrounded by all of its enemies and they're attacking, and no one comes to Israel's aid. And God miraculously is the one who defends them, and it's very evident that it was a miracle.
Yeah.
And this hasn't happened yet.
No, it hasn't. And I had somebody, and you know, I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna call it out, whatever. Somebody in my comments, and I put some things up yesterday in my community tab and said, because I was saying, you know, God is still, He promises, and I had all these verses. I went through the Bible. He had all these promises that He will protect Israel, and then, you know, there's a thing up there where He didn't do it when He allowed these awful things to happen to women and children, and that is happening, and that has happened in history. It's happened and happened. That, as awful as that is, as horrific and heartbreaking and devastating as that is, that's still different than the Israel being destroyed. God, in His word, said He is not going to allow Israel. He's not going to allow it to be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
He will protect them, and that's part of it.
In spite of themselves too.
Yeah,
the ones who rejected the Messiah, but He's keeping His promises to Abraham and Isaac and Jacob.
Yeah. And I think that well, you remember, just because when this came off, I thought about it. You remember how I think it was the latest, the WHO meeting thing, and all those clowns are up there, and they're up there. What are they talking about? Peace and safety. Well, they're out there quoting all these things again. 1 Thessalonians 5:3, I think it is. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them, as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape. I mean, it's like falling. It's like the pages of the book are just coming off, because all these little pieces, these like little quotes and things that you're seeing, they're matching up.
Mm-hmm.
Because at first when it started, I'm like, well, if this is Ezekiel 38, it says in there, somebody set it up here. And Cherokee, I don't think he's in here. He does a really good videos and has maps and everything, and Gog and Magog. I think Michael G said it. Talking about everything that is going to be backed by the bear. It's going to be Russia, things like that. But you didn't see it. But then I started hearing about these jamming things, and then it's like their names kind of being whispered in the shadows about stuff being kind of in this. Even the U.S. with us giving all that $6 billion to Iran, not just too long ago, and they're over there celebrating and chanting and being part of this. Well, I mean, this isn't rocket science. Put the pieces together. Sorry if I missed anything. Yeah, I agree. TT1. I did see something this morning. There was a lot of Israeli reservists that are refusing to go to the Gaza border.
Really?
Yeah, I was, and I was a little shocked. But I mean, look at their situation. I mean, I don't know, but if that does happen, that they don't have people to
Mm-hmm.
boots on the ground, say on their side to do things that could.
Well, I mean, Hamas always they're cowards. They'll always hide their weapon stashes or their bases under schools and hospitals and mosques and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then when Israel takes them out, and then they show all the videos and pictures. Oh, look at Israel! They're being mean. They're bombing schools and stuff. There's going to be a backlash against Israel eventually because of course Israel is going to retaliate and bring righteous retribution. They were attacked. And so be prepared for that. I'm going to push back on people when I see people bringing that crap up, saying, look at Israel's. No, man, that's not what's happening.
Don't bring that to my house because I'll hurt your feelings.
Israel was attacked. I mean, they weren't doing anything to the Palestinians.
Immediately attacked. And they were going, I mean, in the cross of it all, it was civilians. It was women and children. And still now, if they're not kidnapping and taking them to Gaza, and we know that horrible, absolutely horrific things they're doing to them, they're using them as shields as well against their own, from their own stuff that's coming in.
I mean, the Palestinians have complete autonomy in the Gaza Strip. They can rule themselves, get their own funding to do whatever they want. And what they decide to do with it is build tunnels and stockpile rockets for these terrorist attacks instead of building schools and infrastructure for themselves. They have every right that every other citizen of Israel does. They are literally citizens of Israel. They just see themselves as different. Israel's not doing anything to them. All these protests we see over here in the United States, those people have no clue what they're talking about. They don't know what's actually going on over there. Israel's not putting them in internment camps. They rule their own part of Israel.
Yeah.
The Palestinians do. So like AOC and the squad are already starting their anti-Israel rhetoric, saying this is retaliation
against whatever.
Yeah, they should be thrown out of Congress for that crap.
Absolutely. I mean, that is absolutely just utterly disgusting to me that the Taliban even came up and released their statements urging all Islamic nations and international communities to act against Israel everywhere in the world. They had said to do that. But there's Jewish communities around the world, even here in the U.S., that said, this is starting up. We need extra protection because these things, I've seen plenty of videos. They were actually over on Instagram. There was a ton of them. And then I saw a whole bunch. There was a bunch in, they were out of London as well. So everywhere in the world, both sides of the pond here, there was these pro-Palestine groups that were partying and dancing all throughout London streets, like just going nuts, celebrating these attacks. And there are sleepers over here. There are so many things that have been set in place for a long time. That's why none of this is by surprise, even to the U.S. I'm sorry. Those fat cats at the top, they knew, and they can act however they want to act about it. I mean, that's just my opinion.
I mean, the U.S. stance to give billions of dollars to Iran so they won't build nuclear weapons has always been so stupid. because they're
Oh
going to build
yeah,
them anyway in secret, and they're going to use that billions to fund every anti-Israel extremist group in the region. All it does
yep,
is destabilize and cause more of this stuff. That's why Trump, when I'm not touting Trump, I'm not a MAGA guy.
yeah,
Um, I don't care about politics in this, but his stance on Iran, defunding them, stabilized the region while he was president in just a few short years. Iran's a terrorist state. I mean, they
yeah,
really are, and
yeah.
they're
No matter which way you slice it, that's what the reality of that is.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, what was it? You know how they put out stuff they were asking, "Hey, let us pass through Iran, Iraq, and Jordan so we can conquer and get through Jerusalem and all that." I mean, I don't know. I'm trying not to miss anything over here. I'm sorry, guys. Um, I mean, this whole thing's happened. Ask Huckleberry. I've been so upset about all this. I'm upset about all of it because it's absolutely horrific, and we're in our flesh and all this, but we also knew this had to come to pass. This has to come to pass. It's biblically says that it's going to. And a lot of things people talk about. If you go on faith, God's word, what the good book says. I mean, the stage is set. The stage is set, and one of the last things is everything that what's going to happen, what's going on. We see with Israel, and not long before my time's kind of run together because I was off, and things with my mom, and so my time, but it's kind of run together where they were urging, Tater Tot was urging that Israel needs to just give up that part of the land. They just need to give that part up for peace. You remember? And then biblically it even says that their land will be, they'll given for in the name and sake of peace. And then look where we are.
Yep, exactly.
So,
I mean, it's not going to give peace. The more they give, the more they're going to want, and they're never going to stop. What they want is the destruction of every Israeli person. They don't care about land or peace. It's not what they want. They want the destruction of Israel.
yeah, the way they want
Period.
it. And, it is about, I mean, personally, I believe it is about elimination, not just about, oh, I just want this land. Well, of course that gives them power. It's about those land grabs and, the religion conflicts and all that, but it's about elimination and just the sheer hatred they have. But it says that these things were going to come. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm scanning through here super. If I miss something, you're going to have to put it. Yeah, I think so. I absolutely think so. I think there's a lot of Jewish communities around here in the U.S. Some I have contact with and stuff like that that were emailing and responding back to me, and they said it's revved up like real quick, like on our soil here. People see things on the news and they think it's still a fairy tale and cut this off, and it doesn't happen. And things like that could never happen here. What happened to Israel could never happen here. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you're going to need to wake up real quick. Like, yes, it can, especially where they've been planning so many sleepers here for so long, and the borders. There's way more here than what I think people believe.
I mean, not just Islamic extremist cells, but I think there's Chinese cells here, Russian cells here in the
Oh,
United
of
States.
course.
Our infrastructure is completely vulnerable to attack. They could
Mm-hmm.
cripple us. Not even like just bombs and nuclear attacks. They could just take out certain infrastructures and take out our power grid. Not with
Yeah.
EMP, but just by taking out certain facilities in certain parts of the country. They could take out our grid for years before we could even repair it.
Yeah.
Imagine the chaos that could be ensued.
Well, the amount that alone how much that would weaken us, weaken any nation like that, is they know that because people are going to be so beside themselves when that happens. They're just going it's going to be sitting ducks for so many people. Um,
Do you remember? I think it was. I can't remember the time period. It was like the mid 2000s. Um, when our CIA attacked Iran's infrastructure with the virus,
yeah,
the Stuxnet virus, and then they began to attack our stuff. So we've been at cyber war with these people for over a decade, and that Stuxnet virus is one of the most the strongest and easiest viruses to use, and it's out there. Like the code's been out there for over 10 years. So those viruses the way they work, they can sit dormant in our infrastructure and the different computers that control our infrastructure. And some of our infrastructure is controlled by computers that's 30 years old. So that Stuxnet virus can just sit there and wait for
And
one
wait.
command, one keystroke, and then
Yeah.
it can just cause things to malfunction and take out our grid. And I have no doubt that there's, I mean, 10, just what, 2 or 3 years, 10 million people have crossed our border, and we have no clue who they are, where they came from.
Exactly.
So, man, Huckleberry is 100% right. There's definitely cells here ready, waiting.
Oh, they've been here ready and wait. They're just waiting for orders. And Miss Sharon's talking about, this, to bring in the Antichrist will, save us all. I was thinking about that yesterday. Is this the war? Is this the event to usher the Antichrist in? Because it's going to be the savior of stuff. I'm going to save you from this. Yeah, the man of peace. Exactly. It's, like Matthew 24, 6-8. Everybody knows, you're going to hear, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. You not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass. That's what I was thinking about yesterday. Oh my God, you should have seen my held folder yesterday. It was stuff from my comments, from just my community post. It was ridiculous. But it says that this is not the end yet. For nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes. Speaking of earthquakes, have you seen the amount of earthquakes that were going along in the last 72 hours? They're like 4, 0 and up. And it says, for all these things are beginning of sorrows.
There was a shockwave in North Carolina last night.
Really?
Yeah, it knocked some cans off our shelves.
I'll be daggone.
One of the largest fault lines runs through like the Appalachian chain. It's just kind of dormant, but every once in a while it shifts.
It's going to go through like Sparta area and stuff like that.
Yep.
I hear a lot of like they'll have them over there in that area.
That's
hey
crazy.
guys that coming in. I see all you guys coming in, Kevin and Andy, Coffee First, all you I see. I appreciate you. Exactly, Leslie. And that's what gets, and gosh knows I heard it yesterday. I heard a lot of hate, nastiness and stuff yesterday. Of course, I went to my health folder. I think it's hilarious and it's just ridiculous. But I know people say, well, this is America. That would never happen here. We have such a strong military. We have this. And I'm like, we have nothing left. It's all in UKR. What are you talking about? Just about.
Right.
Besides that, they've been bringing that in for a reason for so long. It's all very calculated. And we knew, Native, how long have we been saying this? We knew major things were going to have to pop off right leading up and before this next election.
Oh, definitely. It's all part of the plan. And I've always believed this, and this is my personal belief on scripture. We're not in the end time scriptures that I've read. I don't see the United States there. And I've always felt that's because the Antichrist can't cause enough chaos in the world to rise to bring the proposed peace if we're still here. We're the peacekeepers. We're the police of the world. So I believe something's going to happen to us that takes us off the board. We're going to be either so wrapped up with civil wars or being balkanized or economically destroyed that we're just not able to be involved in what's going on in the world. And because if we fall, it's going to cause a cascade. Everybody else is going to fall because we're so intertwined and then with everyone else's economies and all the bases we have militarily, all the stuff that our presence is there. If we're taken off the board, that's what's going to cause the chaos. That's what's going to give rise to World War III. There's going to be wars all over the place. And,
I don't like what you've been saying. It's not going to be just one. It's not just, and I've said this in the Bible saying, no matter what's going on in the world, always keep your eyes on Israel. And that's true because that is biblical. But there's going to be so many, that doesn't mean these other things that have been building up and we've been like keeping so much attention on are just going to fade off and nothing's going to happen. But we've been saying it for years that we keep right on. They have to have something so bad. The U.S. has to have something so bad. They wanted something to pop off so bad. They were going to create it in any way they can. They were going to fund it. They were going to create it. They were going to keep poking and messing around. Mm-hmm. I think that's where kind of everything is at. I don't know. I'm trying to make sure.
Antichrist is given the power of the world. He's going to come in and say, if we want peace, we can't have borders. If you
Yep.
want peace, we can't have all the weapons, and you got to turn in all your weapons if you want me to bring peace. If you want to end all these diseases and these bioweapons that's been released during World War III, we had the vaccines, but you got to give up your freedoms. You got to have the surveillance state. He's going to come up with all these ideas. And once he gets all the power, like you just said, his main focus for those 7 years is going to be Israel. He's going to sign a peace treaty with Israel
Yep.
for 7 years, and that's when the clock starts for Jeremiah's 70th week.
Yep. And everybody, I'm not going to do this debate on this thing. Everybody has their, thing of our faith, pre-trib, mid-trib, post-trib, all the stuff. Jesus himself doesn't know. That's why we have to always be ready. We see things building up. Our timing here is not the same as God's timing. We have to understand that. So when we see things happen here, they're biblically playing out. I mean, it's coming right off the pages, but I said for a long time when things were going on, it's like, I think it's going to get a lot worse before it's snatched out of here.
I believe it.
Let's see. I'm trying to read over here. Yeah, our military's gone. See, a lot of mid-trib. I get it. I am too, Leslie. There's a lot of, and which always brings me back. I hate to say it, but I'm going to, because that's the mood I'm in. Though, we have like this type of stuff, this depth of things going on across the pond in our own country, things that are coming very quickly. They like, and anything, how they always talk about the dark winter, anything that comes in when we're more weak and distracted, they're always going to use the opportunity or catch us off guard or whatever. There's, I just tell people, pick your battles. So much pettiness, people steal their focus. I said, what do I say? I say it on my channel all the time. Fix your focus, because I just think things are going to get real fast,
Right.
faster than I think what people are thinking.
And I mean, going back to what you said, like whether you believe pre-trib, mid-trib, or post-trib, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change what the scripture says is going to happen, whether you believe the church is here or not. And we shouldn't because I've gotten caught up in that before, arguing with other Christians about what we think is going to happen. That's not important. What's important?
It's not. It doesn't matter. At the end, we have to be ready.
Before the tribulation, even before the rapture, it's going to get very bad. I think we are going to be in World War III before,
I do too.
Before there was a pre-trib rapture. Yep. So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. The timing doesn't matter. If it mattered, God would have told us in his word. I'm sorry. Jesus himself doesn't know. I mean,
as long as you're ready, it don't matter,
you have to be ready. And, I do, and I've said this before. I've had a lot of people say, oh, you cannot be, just emails or argue with me. You cannot be of faith and talk about what you do and be prepping. My mouth is on the floor with things like that, but I'm like, God himself told us to prepare. And I'm not going to sit here just laying and wait and think, well, nothing bad is ever going to happen. Look at our history. Look at what's going on right now in Gaza. Look at the things that are going on. We are not immune to trials and tribulations and horrific suffering.
That's right.
And of all types. It says famine, pestilence. There's going to be war. People are going to be starving. All kinds of things are going to happen. That's why I hope I'm constantly getting ready until the day my name's called, whether we're taken out of here or, I'm taken in some other way. Please, do your part.
Jesus said it was going to be as in the days of Noah. Did Noah not prepare? I'm not even talking about building the ark. I'm talking about preparing, laying up provisions for all the animals and his family, because he didn't know how long he didn't know what was going to happen. God just told him to prepare it. If Jesus said it's going to be like that, this is the exact same. Why wouldn't we prepare? And I always think of the parable too that Jesus told about, where the master went away and he had 3 servants and he gave them each a certain amount of talents.
Yeah.
And one of them, he went forth and he worked hard and he laid up and he earned more and he had more to give back when God came back. And then the last one just buried his and he didn't do nothing. He's like, I was just waiting for you to come back, Lord. And he said, you evil servant. He didn't prepare. That's the way. That's to me. That's the way I look at that. You
That
just sit
exactly.
around waiting for God to do it. God's telling us to get ready. He's telling
We
us
still got
what's
to do
coming.
our part. I mean, he gave us instructions and told us to do our part. That argument I can never get, and for 2 years on YouTube, and even before I was on this platform, just in everyday life, I've had people argue with me about that. Yeah, I agree.
I was reading
I'm right.
today that a law that Congress just passed to where the government now has the right, if you have stockpiles of food, they can break into your house and take it and distribute it into your neighborhood.
Isn't there something about that they can't use home canned goods if you're doing canning for safety?
I,
Did you hear about that?
I didn't.
They'll probably destroy it, you think? But yeah.
Just have some special canned goods that still got some stuff in it to make people sick. No, I shouldn't say that.
He said that, guys.
That'd be bad.
I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything.
Boy, wouldn't that make you mad if you had like 30 year supply and the government shows up and gives it to the people in your neighborhood who've been laughing at you all that time and weren't ready and saying ain't nothing going to happen, and now they're eating your
Well, I
food.
think so many people think I'm not gonna. We've had people tell us that in chats and lives, everything. They said, I'm not gonna do it. When it happens, I'll just go get something down from the people I know, or the store looting and all this other stuff. People say that all the time.
I have like dummy rations, so if they show up, they'll take those, and they won't even find the bulk of our stuff. They have no idea where to look.
Yeah, don't ever just put all your stuff in one.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't do that. Just don't. Be smart, common sense. Oh, Paradise Acres. We've all sat in that shame chair, but yes. The top chat. I get it. I've done that. I'm like, what is going on? You'll see something.
You guys
like,
should sit in top chat. I mean, don't you want YouTube to decide which comments you should read? I mean,
come on. They know best. They know best for you. Yeah, exactly. Scripture does all, it does back up, we have to look at the things going on. So what have you heard? Like, so the Iron Dome thing, was it just like, oh, it's just not working? I mean, it was blocked and shut off. I mean, what is the?
Yeah, I think there had to be some kind of sabotage from the inside.
Yeah.
Because you got to imagine the Palestinians and Israelis have lived together there for generations. And so some of the younger generations, Israel is a super liberal place. And it really is like a military police state because they're always under threat of attack. And so,
Right.
They say you can't have firearms and all that stuff. But the younger generations have the same information like our kids do over here. And so a lot of like the younger Palestinians and the younger Israelis, they intermingle with each other and they just see themselves living in the same country. So I think a lot of them can be sympathetic to each other, to their cause, to their need. And for some reason, the liberal world order favors the Palestinians, well, not for some reason. We know what the reason is, but
Right.
I think it was inside sabotage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you see the list also of, there was a list of other countries that said that they had officials or civilians and different things that were being held hostage in Gaza as well. This is not just a happen. Hamas did not just figure this all out, and they were just this powerful and smart to do this on their own.
I know.
And it was such a orchestrated from all angles, the way that they came in, and such a surprise attack at the timing when they did it too.
And it seems like that would be the main place they monitor because they know that would be the most likely place for them to be attacked, the Gaza Strip.
Oh, absolutely. But they said, I need to look in more into that. If anyone has any more that they saw it before I came on here, they came out and said there was a video coming out of Israel. They were talking that they found equipment had jammed their radars and surveillance and electronics about the time with the paragliders and stuff were coming in. It was blocked. So what countries have that capability? Exactly. Somebody help them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I, I'm that person, that with the pegboard and all the strings are attached. I'm trying to figure. That's just.
I mean, you can't even say that that we people in our own government structure are probably involved in this. You know,
I 100% believe so. I will say it.
I mean, the weapons we're sending to Ukraine are showing up all over the world.
All the weapons that we left.
Not just the ones we left in Afghanistan, the ones
That's
we're
what I'm
sending
saying.
to.
All the ones we've
Yeah,
sent, the ones we left, six
hmm
billion will go a long ways, and now here they are.
they're showing up everywhere at our southern border. They're finding in the hands of the
Yep,
cartels or U.S. weapons, rocket systems, and stuff that were supposed to be in Ukraine.
yep. I agree. And I know, and I mean, the videos, I don't know if you've seen, I mean, people in the chat and everybody, the videos are, like you said, they're on, I'm not on Twitter, on, Instagram, and then finding, like, I watch news straight out of Israel, Jerusalem Post, and things like that. I mean, they're absolutely horrific. I don't know exactly where they are yet as far as where, like TT1 was talking about, they went on offense and where they're going now. I saw a thing where all these, Israeli troops, they were singing and praying before they went out, and they were going to do it. But I mean, how strong Israel's military and everything is. I mean, they're going to slam the hammer down. This is not going to go unaccounted
Oh
for
yeah.
who's responsible.
Oh, their retribution is going to be swift. I was watching before we went live here. They were like dropping buildings that in the Gaza Strip. I mean, like big, like several story buildings, just dropping them. Like, what
Right.
they knew that was going to happen. They knew they couldn't just. Hamas is just being goaded on by Iran and these other large Muslim countries to attack Israel and telling them, do it, be the jihadis. You're probably going to die, but you'll get those 70 virgins, man. And if you do
Right.
it, the rest of the Muslim Brotherhood they'll come to your aid.
Exactly.
But they're being used.
Of course. Of course. They all are. I mean, and look what I mean. The head puppet masters, I say, they're in all. It's just all. It's all connected, and I just don't want people to think, oh, it's not. And like you said early on, there was these groups and these people, and I've heard it. It was in my health folder. They got what was coming to them. They're getting what they deserve or whatever. Do not bring that trash talk on my channel about this subject. I will not have it. I just will not have that. If you are not supportive of Israel and what is going on, then you are supportive of death and destruction. There's no other side with that, with what they're doing. And that's just my opinion about that. I don't know, Huckleberry. I just saw that not long before I came on, that their radars and surveillance and electronics were jammed.
I would
And
think so.
you would think they'd know something.
Yeah,
Somebody
they
inside
would
on their
something.
side saying, "Oh, I'm gonna turn a blind eye to this."
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, man, it had to be someone on the inside was doing something or giving false information for them not to know what was about to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, their entire intel structure had to be blind to it, not just the Iron Dome, but people on the ground watching and surveilling the activities because they know Hamas is there in Gaza. So they didn't see the people setting up. I mean, there were people on motorcycles, like you said, the hang gliders. I mean,
Oh yeah, it's awful. I mean, they were coming everywhere. I think that also they surprised them, because they were talking about the north and the south, where they came in at. They least expected them come in that way. I was watching that, and it was real time. It was Israel news. I was sitting there watching it. They said that was also very surprising. That wasn't the angle that they thought that if they were going to be vulnerable to would come. Yeah, St. I think that's what Nate was talking about. Yeah, they're coming in. I saw those videos. They said that all those weapons they were
auctioned off by law enforcement, and now they're in the hands of cartels. Wow,
so surprised, right?
that's crazy.
Yeah, so all this alone should tell you that, you know, this administration and side of things, they're in on this. So they can turn around and act. And did you see that thing yesterday? Old Tater Tot got up there and said, "Oh, they should absolutely stand up for themselves. We support them and everything." He can play his theatricals all day long, but there's no way that their hand wasn't in that cookie jar and they knew what was going to take place.
I don't think Joe knows anything. I think he just says what they tell
Well, his
him.
handlers, the ones actually in control.
That's what I believe. I don't think Joe has a
Yeah.
clue. Did you see the other day when they asked him a question about the border wall being finished?
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, the wall thing? Yeah. There's nothing we can do. It's the Republican Congress's fault." What do you mean?
Yeah.
He had no clue what the question was even
He
about.
doesn't.
He doesn't know what's going on. Did you know they sold $300 million worth of the border wall supplies to China, and they sold it to them for $2 million, and now they have to buy new materials for $300 million.
Why not? Is that that's how we launder stuff? I'm just asking.
Makes you just want to
just loop it. Just send the money and loop it back to me.
Protect the country, but then you have to say, well, what are we protecting? It's very disillusioning to be an American these days.
That is true, very much. I think that's that part of me that can get me frustrated, where I'm just like, would you wake up? They're not on your side either. I know that is like crushing to be like your own government would do all these things to you. Yes, they are. They do. They have been, and it's going to continue. I don't know.
I saw a lot of folks in Tribes Chat last night, and when we were discussing Israel and the Palestinians, and there's so much misinformation about the whole conflict between them, and everyone's like, well, Israel does it to them all the time. No, they don't. Israel just wants to be left alone. Hamas does this stuff all the time. They just out of the blue bomb Israel, and then Israel retaliates to bring back
and then peace. Israel's the bad person.
Yeah,
they make that.
People, I have people in my family who look down on Israel and say, well, I don't know why Israel has to be special. Why are they special? Why did God call them the special people? God called Israel the chosen people to bring forth the Messiah.
Right.
That's what that means. It doesn't mean they're above.
They're chosen and special and they get special free passes. That doesn't mean that.
They're the ones who are supposed to bring the Messiah and then the gospel. And they did. But then they rejected their own Messiah, and no one has been judged more than Israel.
And God is going to deal with Israel. Those who are not come to the Messiah, that is going to happen.
To turn them to Jesus. It's going to take the tribulation. That's literally most of Israel's population will die. There's only going to be a remnant left who will turn to Christ during the tribulation. They're not special, like they're not better. God's not saying they're better than anyone. He's just keeping his promises.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up in the chat, but I didn't want to have a theological discussion in Tribe Chat last night.
Speaking of Tribe, I did not see, which, he goes on like, I have to do his replay gang on, I just sit over there in that chair with the replay gang. Cause I, at night and if I'm off of something, I have to get my kiddos in bed and we go to bed early, not super late. There are some night owls. Mornings start early here. Kids and animals, that's how it works. I need to go watch it. I did see his topic, what he was talking on. And I hope it, and then I have people, and that's why I said from get-go, this is what I'm going to discuss today. It's not my normal Sunday chat, but this is very important and personal to me. And I think that it should. I think I'm glad that there's a lot of creators that are talking about it, because I think it needs to be talked about. Of course, standing with Israel, praying for Israel, how horrific all these things are. Yes, these things biblically are written out. We're seeing that play. But the fact that who all was actually involved and has been working on orchestrating this stuff to come, that what happened, and that it's going to continue happening. Because I think that's part of being prepared, is educating. Knowledge is power on this could happen here. And who do they want to take out? They want to take out Israel. They want to take out America. They're chanting it. I mean, this isn't a secret. They don't try to hide it. And I don't know.
I feel like because we all, I think we all, especially in this chat, we feel the travail, the birth and pains are coming. We feel like that we are close to the fulfillment of all the prophecies and the scriptures and stuff. And I think there is a hunger. People are starving for the things of God, even if they don't know that's what they're trying to feel with all this
Oh
technology and
yeah,
things and stuff.
that emptiness.
They're hungering for it, and our society for so long has starved us of it. They don't allow it in the media. Our society. I remember as a kid, we were always taught you don't talk about religion and politics. Why? We should. I teach my kids always talk religion and politics, but not to be
Yeah,
mean. We need to learn to discuss these things with each other because it's important.
exactly.
And so I think people are. I really. That's why I really enjoyed Tribes live last night. Because he was getting really deep in it and he was sharing things he was feeling because he was watching what was going on with Israel, and he knew that something happening in Israel was important. And that's
Yeah,
why she said that's why I went live last night, and I was watching the chat, and it was good because there were all different kinds of points of views, and many
exactly.
people were sharing scripture in the chat. And even though someone might disagree with that scripture, they saw it and God planted that seed. And so
Exactly.
I think we need more of these types of talks.
I do, and I think that people get. I always welcome. And I talk to my mods, and we do things. I welcome difference of opinions. If you're not of faith, you're still welcome in here. Only thing I ever ask people to do is, hey, be respectful. We're not going to do personal attacks. Now you can disagree, and I understand disagreements can get heated. I understand that, and that's not a problem. I think that all, but we are here to plant seeds, or just to make. I mean, just that is our mission for all these things, whether and it is about faith, and even about, we even talk about prepping or helping each other out, or like, man, I
Right.
never thought about that, learning from each other. We are continually always supposed to be learning and growing. And if you think that you know it all and you've done it all, you are going to get slapped with some humble pie, I promise.
The heartbeat.
In
Yeah.
a minute, a whole humble buffet. But I think that these things should make you think. I do think that they should inflict emotions in you, um, about different things, like even like Tribe. Everybody who knows Prepper Tribe, he gets something, and he will get passionate about something, and he'll, well, you too, Native. Now, Native can go deep on back. That's why he has so many strikes. But um,
For real.
we should feel that way. We should do that, because this whole thing of like, well, I got to tiptoe around because this person and me, or that person, we don't have the same faith. Okay, we can agree to disagree. We don't feel the same on this topic. We don't do things the same. Those days of tiptoeing around is why, and I can't offend anybody. I can't differentiate from anyone. Is why we are in the situations we are in this world and in America today.
Absolutely.
So
And I mean, if we are supposed to be the examples of the world to what a follower of Christ is, how can we be that if we're not willing to step on people's toes or offend
yeah,
someone? And
exactly.
and that only begin. We only learn how to do that by doing. We can't read a book and figure out how to be an apologist or something like that. You literally have to get in the midst and offend people. People are going to offend. They're going to say things that offend you.
Yeah.
Um, but if we're not, like, look how society over the past few decades has portrayed Christians. We're all in movies. We're always crazy.
Oh
The
yeah.
villains like some crazy nuts, Bible
That
thumping,
propaganda. That yeah.
or you got people who I call church folk who just don't have the spirit of Christ in them. They're just
Their church
going through
holier than thou
tradition.
church folk.
Yeah, throughout the week, they're not living the Christian lifestyle. They're hateful to
I call them
people.
check mark Christians. Yep. I went Sunday.
Right,
Yep. I
and
went
we don't
Wednesday.
want them to be the only ones. And a lot of the
Mhm.
people I talk to in our community who don't consider themselves followers of Christ, they're not necessarily atheists or anything, but their only interactions with Christianity are those types of people, and so they have a
Oh
stigma
yeah.
in their mind of what a Christian's supposed to be, and it doesn't look enjoyable like a life someone want to live, but that's not what it is.
Yeah.
But
Paradise Acre said she just saw they're sending more military assistance to Israel.
I wonder what form it is. I know they're sending
That's,
our biggest carrier to the Mediterranean Sea, but that's just a show of force. What are they actually going to do?
yeah, that'll be interesting because there's always that thing of show, and then this is what I call them, the mainstream people. I saw it on Fox, I saw it on CNN, and we're doing it, we're helping. That's what they said. It's like photo ops opportunities is when they do things like that.
Hmm.
What is their? I mean, I'm not saying Paradise Acres. That's not what I'm calling you out about that. I'm just saying I have to see. What are they really doing? What's the bottom line of it? Not what's up for show. That's just my thing. I agree, Andy. I mean, these type of conversations don't bother me. I'll talk about the hard things and the unpopular things and the YouTube can't stand me things. Did not bother me. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. I appreciate you guys here in chat. I always do. Miss Sharon, where are you at? I have the best chat and community. Y'all are so respectful and helpful to each other. And me, I appreciate all of you in here. If I've missed anything, I'm so sorry. Oh yeah. Yeah. I always have it. Hey, no, you always drop some good stuff in here.
You definitely are, brother. We appreciate you, though.
I know. Didn't. Yeah. They do that. Where's all that funding and money? Are we going to give the same amount of funding that we've been given to UKR to Israel? I just want to know.
Right. They probably took those guns from Israel and said, "We're going to send these to Ukraine."
Yeah,
They
we're
probably
going
wound up
through
as
here. We just need to cross through here.
yeah. We're going to take these through the Gaza Strip, but they're going to make it to Ukraine. We promise.
Yeah, sure they are. That's the way they do things, though, right? I don't. So I had a bunch of notes. I was like writing down things as I was going, just little tidbits that I had been seeing. I don't know. Like I said, it was an hour or so before I even came on here what the latest toll was. I'm sure that's going to continue to grow. As far as I know, they still have control over the Gaza Strip. Is that correct?
Who, Hamas? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's what I thought. Thank you, Paradise Acres. I appreciate it. Keeping me posted. And this is going to continue to play out. There's going to be more to talk on all this as it goes. This is going to go on, and things are going to get a lot worse. Not just there, everywhere. It's just going to happen, and we were warned these things were going to happen. And this is part of our preparedness, things that we prepare for, and we need to continue to be aware of. So anything y'all want to throw down here? Oh yeah, and Mrs. Tennessee, yeah, the distractions, and that's what I was saying early on. Too many people in this world, in our everyday life, maybe it's even in your family, it's in the streets, it's at your workplace, it's on YouTube, every people, and that's why I say fix your focus. Too many people are worried about pettiness, and they're still going to be in their pettiness when things slam down. And I just don't have the energy for stuff like that.
I hear you. Gosh, so many distractions.
Yeah, and make sure you filter through things like that, because gosh knows, there's about, and well, we've been talking for a while. I expected before the stuff with Israel happened or anything, I said there's about to be some false flags going down, some different things that we're going to start coming about, but I don't know.
Yeah, I saw one this morning. There was a guy who made a video standing in front of a mosque that had been hit by a shell. But it was because Hamas had hid a lot of their weapon stashes in the mosque. There weren't any people there.
Right. Well, they'll do things. They'll put them in schools and hospitals, and then say, "Oh, look, they just blew up a hospital. Oh my gosh, they just blew up this school." No, that's not really there. Y'all just staged that. So make sure you check out your sources. Of course they are. Turkey has a place too.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's like I mean, billions upon billions of stuff that we've sent to everywhere, but where it should, just and that's don't be like a Pharisee, exactly.
That's the truth, sis.
Absolutely, yeah. There's some other things that are going to come. Oh, and why we're on this kind of whatever. Okay, everybody knows about the alert test that went on. When was it? 4th. Is there supposed to be another? They're going to run another test on the 11th. Have y'all heard that?
I haven't heard that. Are
A
they?
couple people were talking about it. And they said I think they're talking about doing running another alert test on the 11th. Has anybody heard that? Because I couldn't get confirmation on it. But anyways. If y'all have anything else though up there, I appreciate Native as always.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. This was awesome. I've been thinking about this stuff for days now.
Yeah, me too. It's been heavy on me and just watching stuff, and I appreciate Tribes. I need to go watch his replay and anyone else that's doing it because it needs to be talked about, and we do. They need Oh, it was supposed to be a backup alert. What if it couldn't go on the 4th? I don't know.
That'd be crazy. What would stop it? Yeah.
I don't know. No, it was a backup date. I wonder what they were thinking could have interrupted that they couldn't do it.
One, like, when it popped up on my phone, I just clicked it and it went away. But Devout told me he was watching like network television. It was like a screen that was on. And a thing popped up on there for 20 minutes and it wouldn't go away.
Oh, really?
It was like, it was a little bit different than what was on the phone. I can't remember exactly what he told me it said. I was like, that's weird.
Huh. All right, DCBs. I have Casey. Okay. Well, I wonder, but what would, so if the 4th was a bust, like, it didn't work, they were going to do it on the 11th, but I guess, how would it not work? They're doing it, right?
I know.
I don't know. They don't know what they're doing, I guess. Thank you guys for your input and stuff on that.
Hey, Random JL, what's up? She says I always ignore her.
Random, she says you ignore. Native's busy. A couple of them, I'm just like, he'll get back. Understand. Shameless plug. That's okay, Andy. Go ahead. I'd love to have more of you a part of this conversation on my channel Monday night, 8 p.m. Mark that. Go ahead, throw it down.
Tomorrow at 10?
Tomorrow, what was it? 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday night. Yep.
All right, cool.
Thank you, Leslie. I appreciate you.
Always, sis.
Oh, you never got the alert? They weren't even going to tell you, Michael. I don't know what it is. My phone, Huckleberry and I have the exact same phone. I've had it for a while, and I hate to buy a new cell phone. Like, I would have duct tape on that joker holding it together. I cannot stand it to buy a new phone. But for probably, months, if not a year now, my phone doesn't get any alerts, like Amber alerts. My phone, and we have the exact same phone. We have no idea why, because it's turned that says on. I didn't get anything on mine. It came on his and stuff.
Poppy sent me a video from a guy who they just made a company. They're making a new kind of phone that blocks all the stuff. Like, even if you have Google or whatever Apple apps on your phone, they can't steal any data from you. And there's a button you can push that will literally lock the phone down so no signal can get in or out. And I have to send it to you because
send it to me.
It's an Android phone. So
that's what I have as
Android. Do whatever modern phones can do, but it protects you as a human being, as a person. Like, even if you didn't want this test to get through, you could have blocked it. I was like,
there is maybe Huckleberry said there is this man. He's an Asian man, but he does all these different phones, electronics, and he even sells his own, and they block a lot of different things. I cannot think of his name. I can't watch him a long time because it's so much technical stuff. But I wonder if that's the same guy. I don't know. Send it to me though. If you send it, I'll put it up on the community tab too.
I'm sending it now.
Y'all welcome. Thank you guys for being here. No, oh Pat, that's okay. If you're late, I appreciate you, and all my replay people, I appreciate you guys. Is this it? Native Brack's phone. De-googled. What Huckleberry put up? Is that it?
Hold on, I think it's called Pegasus.
I don't know. I haven't heard, but that doesn't mean anything. Thanks, Miss Sharon, for dropping that link.
Pegasus is the name of a virus that attacks phones.
Oh.
But they've created their own. It might be the Brax phone. I don't know what it's called.
Y'all check that out just in case. If I get a hold of it or whatever, I'll put it in my community tab. If you want to check it out, you know.
I'm definitely looking into it. I would love to have something where we're somewhat digitally protected.
So a Brax phone or okay, so we'll look into that. So see, other people are saying the Brax phone. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Okay. We'll have to see.
Sweet.
Rob Braxman. I think that is his name. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that might.
Oh, see, Miss Sharon knows so it's up to. See, I'll let y'all do it. I'll let Huckleberry watch. I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. Could you just figure it out and let me know?
The chat always knows.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys. Truly, I do. Y'all stay safe. Look out for each other. Head on a swivel. Keep doing the things. And at the end of the day, we do our part. We give the rest to God. And, you know, there's so much of these things are, even though they're horrific, they have to come to pass. And that's just part of this. That's just part of it. It's going to happen. I appreciate all of you. You got anything for us, Native, before we close up?
I just echo what you said. Look out for one another. Don't be afraid to stand on your values and your morals, especially nowadays. People need to see that.
Yeah.
Young people need to see. Our young people, above all things, are our most precious resource. And I've really been seeking God lately for my own children, my older kids. You know, my older kids are 20, 18, and 15. And they've been brought up in this broken society. And I can see the effects of it on them. But I want them to know, you know, that there's a better way. So I've really been seeking God for them and trying to remove hindrances in my own life.
Yeah.
Things that weren't necessarily a sin, but they were hindering me from finding God's will for me.
Right.
So I would ask.
And we have our own distractions like that too, that we have to kind of get in check sometimes.
Right. Absolutely. So any of you guys who believe in the power of prayer, I'd ask, please pray for me and my family. We're trying to get our entire family on the right track for what's coming.
That's awesome. And that's all we can do. And as parents, you know, we have that on us. But that's good stuff. And we are definitely praying for you. I'm praying for all of you in chat, like always. I appreciate you guys. I love you. Keep doing the things. And we'll see you guys next time.
God bless. Have a good week.